What's up, y'all? We're back. And today I wanted to do a shop update in general. There's some work to do on the M3 tomorrow, but I might not make a video about that because I think that everybody knows what it's going to be about. It's going to be about grinding. So I'll save you the heartache of watching me grind metal for hours and hours. This morning, my buddy Victor and Bill, who both deserve a shout out here, came by and they gave me some tips on how to do this. Those guys are both awesome fabricators. Victor is the guy that's actually going to do the cage for me. And if you remember back here, I have all these cage parts. He said, don't worry about it. I'll figure out where everything goes. I got a system. I know how to do it. I totally trust him. He does way more complicated stuff than this. He told me that while he has the cage, he's going to handle all this other stuff too. And that feels a little bit like a cop-out to me because I have equipped myself a little bit better and I will do some of it, but I think I decided this morning that I'm not going to do all of it. And I'll explain that a little bit later. One thing that I was going to do this weekend, this is silicon bronze TIG rod, and I was going to use this to do the roof once I have the panel cut ready, and also to do the rest of the patches. You see these holes here, they need to be patched. Victor does the same thing actually. I watched a few YouTube videos about it, and it's way better than TIGging because you don't need the strength, and the silicon bronze has a lower melting temperature than the steel wire, so you actually don't like consume the metal, you're just adding. So you can cut a patch, for example here, that just fits perfect, clamp it, and then just add around. It'll be really smooth. There's no overlap and there are no holes, you don't blow through it. Anyway, Victor's a master at that. He took a look at this. He's actually just showed me pictures of a Supra that he did a roof on. It was like a Targa Supra, and he did a hard top roof and it looks absolutely mint, and he actually did the bronze also. So part of this project was for me to learn, but also, you know, as a project manager for my job, I like to have the best people do the best work. So trying to find a balance here between learning and also getting the best possible outcome. So maybe I'll do some so I can learn. Maybe he'll do some so he can do the high stakes parts like the roof, maybe the cowl. We'll see how it goes. I have some time. None of those things are going to happen right away because this thing still has to go to get dipped. And the first thing I need to do is buy another trailer because I sold my trailer. So we're going to buy a trailer. I don't know how. I have to get it shipped here because no one in Massachusetts sells trailers. So find that, tow this out. While it's out there, maybe take it straight back to Victor when it's done. We'll see. Anyhow, the real update of this week is for the Pajero. My good buddy backed into this car this summer by accident, and fortunately he didn't break anything underneath the body, but he did scratch and crack the over fender, which I have off here. And so what you have to do, unfortunately, to get this over fender off is you have to take the rear bumper off because it overlaps. And that overlaps with that, and that overlaps with that, and then the front bumper. So what I basically just did was took everything off the side, and I'll repaint all the stuff, all the over parts. The body shop, my friend down at International Auto Body, he can't quite fit the bumper covers yet, but he'll take these side skirts, and he'll take the steps, which another shout out to Bill. He recently scanned these for me. He did a 3D scan of both sides, so we actually have a CAD file of this part. It's a little large to 3D print, but our friends at Galway Carbon in Ireland are going to take that file, and we're going to try to reproduce these. These are very high wear items on Pagevos, and they're no longer available. They're super expensive when you could buy them, and now they're not even available at any price. And you can see mine has a little burn mark there. I don't know, maybe a Japanese cigarette fell onto that thing and it just went aflame. This is going to get repainted. I couldn't bring myself to bring it back to put it back together. I have all the Evolution decals for it. You can see the paint's just really worn and old. So in the meantime, they'll repaint these. I was hooning around in my field and I hit a cable roll, like those industrial cable rolls. It was in the middle of the field. I have no idea how I did it. So I scratched this one last year. This one is, these is how they all get. So the hole is like blown out. There's a crack in it. The paint's worn from people lazily getting in the car. So this thing's gonna look awesome when these are redone. This is really the first step on the pad. These will all go this week. And then when these are done, I'll bring the bumpers, get the bumpers resprayed, and this guy will be ready. I also did coil packs this winter, front brakes, rotors, pads, and actually used calipers. They need to be cleaned up, but the rotors are Japan only, and if you ever ship anything from Japan, try not to make it brake rotors because they're really expensive. Lastly, all new coils in here, which are quite a job. As you can see, like they're under that manifold brace, so you have to take the whole manifold off. New spark plugs, a bunch of new gaskets, and it's running great. It actually had a little bit of a misfire at idle last year, and I think one of the coil packs was done. I thought it was a mouse that might have damaged the harness, but there was no damage, so good news. Subaru is chilling. No updates. It needs new tires for next year, but it's in a holding pattern. I did this slash cut tip, which was pretty sweet. You kind of see that there. That was a Cobb exhaust that I took the Cobb tip off. This guy, you've probably heard me lamenting about my experience at auction with this car. It got very little activity and sold for a song. I barely broke even, and if you count the time I put into it, I definitely did not break even. That's just a real shame. But this thing's shipping out Monday, so I'll have an extra space in here finally to do a little bit more work. I'll probably move the M3 over to the middle of the garage. So that's it for now. Lots of updates. First, get the pads out, put the engine back together. I just have to put the air box in, buy a trailer. Shout out to my friends that came by today to give me a little guidance on this thing. I'm pretty optimistic about how everything's going to turn out. For Victor, he makes really incredible drag racing cars that are all tubbed, and he's a fantastic metal worker. So the car will be in the right hands, and he has an appreciation for making things exactly as they should be. So he's the right guy to do this and to help me out here. Anyhow, maybe I'll do something short tomorrow, but this will probably be it for the week. Next week, I can show you guys how to put these things back on a Pajero. I got all new clips for it and everything. Talk soon. Thanks for watching.